Let's take a deep dive into the interesting world of cancer and cancer treatments. Now, the earliest known depiction of cancer can be traced all the way back to 2600 BCE, when it was found on the Edwin Smith papyrus scroll. Then, in 500 BCE, Hippocrates came up with the humerus theory, which described cancer as a result of the imbalance of bodily fluids, leading to non-invasive treatments like diet and bloodletting. Chimney swivel was linked to squamous cell carcinoma, a type of skin cancer, by British surgeon Percival Pott in 1775. He noticed that young boys who were chimney sweepers developed this type of cancer later in life, and his report is the first to clearly link environmental exposure with the development of cancer. Radical mastectomy is a type of treatment for breast cancer that involves the removal of the entire or parts of the breast. It was developed first in 1882 by William Halsted, and though it is not performed like how he performed it back in the 1800s, it is still a procedure that is utilized today. The first X-ray was monumental in the development of future cancer treatments. For example, it allowed for radiation therapy, which was discovered in 1899, in order to cure treatments. Nitrogen mustard is a type of gas that was first intended for use as a chemical warfare agent in World War II. However, when an airship containing it exploded over Italy, it was determined that it also contained anti-cancer properties. Though it's not used as frequently in the past, nitrogen mustard is still utilized for specific cancers today. In the 1900s, cigarette smoking is huge, and with it came a rise in lung cancer. There is a linkage between cigarette smoking and lung cancer that was identified, but there is a nihilist propaganda among not only cigarette companies, but doctors as well. In the 1950s, only about 1/3 of all US doctors believed there was a believable case against cigarettes. However, as more dangers and more evidence arose, the dangers of tobacco gained more recognition. Cigarettes cause about 1 lung death per 3 to 4 million, causing about 1.5 million deaths in 2013 alone. They remain one of the most deadly artifacts of human civilization. More than that, and sadly enough, over 7,300 non-smokers die each year from secondhand smoke. Lung cancer has been the leading cause of deaths among both men and women. Methotrexate is a type of chemotherapy that was used to treat leukemia in 1956. It's very successful chemotherapy for childhood leukemia. CT scans also resulted from the discovery of an X-ray. A CT scan is a machine that works by using a rotating X-ray to take multiple pictures of cross-sections of the bodies. Computers then put together these slices by stacking them and produces the image into a 3D picture. CT scans allow physicians to identify the location, the size, and the shape of tumors, though it does not detect cancer by itself. The National Cancer Act of 1971 boosted funding for cancer research. It led to many major advancements, such as tamoxifen in 1978. It is an anti-estrogen drug that represents the first class of drugs known as selective estrogen receptors. HER2-targeted therapy was a type of medicine that treat breast cancer. They developed to target the HER2 proteins that grew too rapidly in HER2-positive breast cancers. Provence is a form of immunotherapy for prostate cancer. It utilizes the patient's own immune cells and grows them in a lab next to a protein that can recognize prostate cancer. It is an option for advanced prostate cancer that fails to react to hormonal therapy. CAR T cell therapy was developed in 2012. It's a really revolutionary and highly technical treatment. Basically, the T cells of a patient are extracted and then re-engineered in a lab to produce CARs, chimeric antigen receptors, and these CARs bind to specific proteins on the surface of cancer cells. Millions of these CAR T cells are grown in the lab and then re-implanted back into the patient. The process is incredibly technical, as I said before, and is very personalized, which leads to it being extremely costly. However, it is an effective treatment option. The Precision Medicine Initiative was launched by Obama in 2015, It really just focuses on taking into account the differences in genes and environment rather than using a sort of one-size-fits-all approach. It's very specific and really emphasizes very specific and individualized treatments. CRISPR is a gene editing tool that can alter the DNA of human cells. It's very easy to use and very precise, which leads to its wide use in the scientific world today. But they use it in cancer to genetically modify immune cells so they can target specific cancerous message. The first trial in the US to test CRISPR in cancer therapy occurred in 2019, and it was determined that the treatment was safe. There is currently ongoing research into the extent CRISPR can be used for cancer treatment patients. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this dive into the interesting, fascinating, and ongoing world of cancer.